What up, though? It's your girl Tamara Dawn, and welcome to Tamara Till the Break of Dawn. Now, first things first, I want to thank y'all for hopping on my train of thought today, because you literally could be doing anything else right now, so I appreciate you tuning in. And before I get too far off into this intro, I definitely want to give a special shout out to my podcast fam. So make sure y'all actually check out them podcast suggestions in the episode note. Last but not least, want to give a special shout out to Sniper T for this beat, and all his information can be found in the episode notes as well. So, now that we got all that out the way, let's get it. I wish I could check in with you. I wish I could have a conversation with you, whoever you may be, and just see how you're doing. I'm not gonna ask you, are you good? Because that's a stupid question, I feel like, because it's been heavy. Really, all of 2020 has been heavier and heavier. I feel like it's just been like this snowball picking up. I don't even know. It's just been crazy. And then now the country is in an uproar, rightfully so, because of the murder of George Floyd, which is not just because of him. There's been so many instances just like his. His is just the most recent one, and I actually finally watched the video today. I had intentionally not watched it, but I watched it today. And I don't know, let's just get into, because it all goes into this series that I'm starting and why I'm starting this series, My People, My People. And it's not just to black people. If you didn't know, I'm a black woman, because I don't know how you found this podcast if you don't follow me on social media, so you might not know that. This is to everybody, because we have to figure out how to exist on this planet together. Ain't nowhere else for us to go. Ain't no Earth 2.0. Ain't none of that. So we got to figure this out. And let's just get into this whole Blue Lives Matter. This is going to be, I'm going to tell y'all right now before I even get into talk about it. This may be hard to hear for some people. I don't know if I'll lose listeners, and that's fine, because at the end of the day, I do this to have an outlet, a creative outlet. I'm not trying to, if only one person listens to this, because I ain't going to say I don't want nobody to listen, because no content creator wants to create content that's not consumed by people. So I ain't even about to lie to you on that. But if only one person listens, I guess it just is what it is, because I just feel like we've all watched a lot of the same scenarios play out. I'll just say, more so as social media has picked up, we're getting a clue into what's going on in other parts of the country that we might not have been privy to that information if we didn't see a Facebook post or a tweet or something on Instagram, you know what I mean? So we're in the social media age where we are constantly flooded with information. Some is inaccurate, some is true. With the protesting and stuff, I've been mainly watching the Facebook Lives, because I feel like that's the most accurate portray, because it's as it's happening, you know what I mean? So we all have seen what's been going on, but we've all experienced it differently, and we've all had different reactions to it, and we even all grieve differently as we're in pain and processing the injustices that we've seen. And the thing about it is that what I'm seeing now, which kind of, as I've thought about, okay, now what can I do? Because I'm not going to get out there and protest, and not everybody has to protest. That's not the only thing that you can do, though I do believe it is important. Like, if you look at the history of our country, I mean, even as far as wars and stuff, it's just, that's how things happened. That's how things got passed. And if you look at the protests now that are a little more chaotic, although I do believe the stuff that I'm reading about, you know, people being on bull and planting people to disrupt from the actual movement. I'm a firm believer of that. But even amidst all that chaos and the rioting that we've seen throughout history, it's like sometimes change didn't happen until. And if we look at when some of the peaceful protesting began with people kneeling, athletes and stuff like that, and everybody was all mad about that. But you know what's funny is yesterday I saw a post where somebody, I'm going to share it on my Facebook page, the show page, if I could find it. But somebody wrote like a post, like apologizing to Kaepernick, saying, you were basically peacefully protesting and I didn't like the way you were doing it, and maybe had I listened then, yeah, maybe had you have listened then. And everybody has their opinions about why and whoop-de-woo, but I feel like within all that, the focus, because it didn't affect you, whoever you may be, the focus has not been on but why. You know what I mean? And so that's the whole point of this series, as I'm about to get into stuff that usually I don't just put blanket stuff out there. I usually try to have conversations with people. I've kind of started being a little bit more vocal on my Facebook about stuff, and usually I don't do that because I just hate having certain conversations via social media. But I feel like if I have this platform and I don't use it to make a difference in this world, because that's the other reason I created this podcast. You see my content. It's all about growth and whatever. And if only one person gets something out of it and learns, cool, that's fine. Then I did it just for you. You are that important. So if I don't use this platform in that way, then I don't deserve this platform, because I'm not, I'm goofy and I'm this, that, and the other, but I'm also a very, I feel, and I'm a very passionate person, and I feel deeply about like people just being treated right, but then also just unity. Like I said, we got to exist together. So let's get off into today's topic about the blue people. Now, I need to know where these blue people are, and if you know where there are actual blue people besides the Smurfs, because the Smurfs are not real. So unless y'all be talking about the Smurfs, I need you to understand how, whoever you may be, because another thing why I'm doing this and why I'm choosing the road of trying to educate, I see a lot of my white friends on Facebook, or I see a lot of tweets that people are sharing where you all are understanding kind of what has been what black people have been trying to communicate for a while. And I see people apologizing. I see at these protests, white people are protesting with us, because racism is bull. Police shouldn't be abusing their power regardless. You know what I mean? Like, everyone should care about that, because you should have some compassion and care about the next human being that you gotta be on this earth with. But, I see people saying, like, what can we do? Like, it's like you don't know what to do. You know something should happen. And I know that some stuff, like a lot of things need to happen. Protesting, laws need to be changed. Like all these things need to happen. And it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And in our lifetime, I was talking to Autumn from Lit Life podcast the other day, and in our lifetime, this is what she said, that's why I'm quoting her. She was like, in our lifetime, we might not see, the fruit of this work that needs to be done, but it still needs to be done nevertheless, because I'm thinking about the world that I'm leaving behind to my kids, because there's going to come a point when they're going to be in this world without me, and it's like, what am I leaving them? What am I leaving my grandchildren, their children, other people's kids and that's what I'm thinking. So this is the work that we got to do, just like we're seeing the fruit of the work that our, ancestors, grandparents, whatever did. We're getting to reap some of the benefits, even though the country is still a whole mess. But the work, there's so many things that need to happen, and I've chosen the route of trying to educate people on what they may not realize, or what I'm saying, having those tough conversations, because it's something I enjoy doing, because it's just important. It's hard. It can be emotionally taxing. It can be frustrating, but it's worth it because unity is important to me. So let's get into the blue lives versus the black lives, because that's what it's become. It's become that when people say Black Lives Matter, people rebut that with Blue Lives Matter. But before we get into that, let's talk about rebutting it with All Lives Matter. Because here's the thing of where I don't think you understand how offensive that is. And I'm going to give y'all the benefit of the doubt, whoever y'all may be, because I'm just going to assume that you're not intentionally trying to be dismissive of somebody's cries for justice and them expressing the oppression that they feel or have experienced or whatever. Just because it wasn't your experience doesn't mean it didn't happen. You just are privileged to not have to had gone through that experience. So when people say Black Lives Matter, I was talking to my little brother earlier today, and I was saying, I wonder if when they created that, when that movement started, I wonder if they would have said Black Lives Matter 2, TOO. I wonder if people would have understood what was implied in that statement, because no one has ever been saying, I won't say no one, because I'm not ignorant to or naive to believe that everyone, I like to believe the best about people, but I'm not dumb either. So in most cases, when that statement is said, it's saying Black Lives Matter too. Why? Because something happened that showed that perhaps whoever didn't value a black life, and I can't even say it's mainly been men. I mean, it has been more men than women, but it's been both. And then justice is not served, especially when you get into police brutality. There should be a way higher level of accountability than what there is, because you are supposed to protect and serve. So it's you should be held to a higher standard than, and not just be able to get away with stuff. And you're fearful. Maybe you should not be in this field if, I don't know. I'm not going to go there yet. So, no one is saying that no one else's life matters. What we're trying to remind you is that we matter. Our Black Lives Matter too. But it doesn't have to. And so I just thought I'd throw that in there. And then I'm going to throw some other examples, because I'm going to drag this point out, because I feel like if I say it, I'm that kind of person that I will say things a bunch of different ways to help you understand, because it's important. So I have 3 kids, and 16, 18, and 20. Good Lord. And my younger two are daughters and my oldest is a son. Now, imagine if my youngest daughter broke her arm, and imagine if she's like, Mommy, I need to go to the hospital. My arm is broken. I need help. I'm hurting. However she would say it. She's the only one that usually will still call me Mommy, which I appreciate. But imagine my youngest daughter said that, and my response to her as she's expressing her pain to me about what she feels and the hurt that she feels. What if I responded and I didn't take her to the hospital and I was like, well, your brothers and sisters have arms too. Their arms are important too. What the hell? Like, y'all would be judging me as a mom. You'd be like, why you ain't taking your daughter to the hospital because she's hurt, right? That's the equivalent of you rebutting Black Lives Matters with All Lives Matter. Stop. Like, that is just stop it. It'd be better for you to be quiet than you try to dismiss somebody's feelings, somebody's pain, somebody whatever, just because you can't relate to it. Like I said, it doesn't mean it's not real, and it doesn't mean it's not valid, and it doesn't mean it's not happening. You're just privileged to not have to experience it. So please stop. Understand that in that moment, it's not about you. It's about the person who's trying to make sure that they are valued too, because in whatever moment and whatever's happening, they don't feel like they were. And I don't want to say feel, because it's really that the circumstances and the situation show that they're not. Okay, now let's get into blue lives. Because at least with all lives, you're comparing black people to other people. You know what I mean? Blue lives. Let's talk about what blue lives are. A blue life is a police officer. Yes, I know. A blue life is a career choice that some young man, young woman, at some point in their life decided that they wanted to be a police officer. And they applied. And I don't know the full process. I know you have to go through like training or academy school or whatever it's called, physical tests, all this stuff. And then they made it through all that and they graduated, or I don't know. They became a police officer. They decided that they get paid. They clock in and they clock out. And when they clock out, they could take their uniform off and they can hide in society, not hide, but you know what I'm saying, they can blend in and nobody might not know they're a police officer. And then if they don't live in the community that they police in, I don't know if police do that, if they like police other communities and then live in a different city nearby or whatever. But if you decided to do that, you might not know, and nobody might not know you're a blue life. You know what I mean? You get, like I said, you get paid, you get to clock in and clock out. Some days might be longer than others, but the day is gonna end. You can retire, you can quit, you can also get fired. There's pension, all these things. And I'll just end with that. That's the blue life. It's a choice. It's a career choice. So it's like, teachers, what color are their lives? Doctors, lawyers, social workers, sanitation workers, grocery store workers, fast food workers, farmers. I don't know if maybe that's considered a career. What color are their lives? Because I've never heard any other career have a life until we started saying Black Lives Matter, and that became the rebut. I could be wrong on that as far as when that came about. Don't get me wrong, because maybe it's always been. But when you try to rebut someone's pain, injustice, feelings, and you say that their life, their black life, is equivalent to a blue life, let's talk about how that don't even make sense. So, we said that's a career and all that good stuff. Let's talk about being a black person. So, like I said, I'm a black woman. I was just born black girl magic, melanin popping or whatever. I'm gonna be 40 in a few weeks. I don't look it at all. If you follow me on whatever social media or you just know me in real life, most people don't believe I'm about to be 40. But that aside, I never asked to be black. I just hey, here we are, black and I'm proud. You know what I mean? I did not apply to be black. I did not I didn't get any training. I didn't I don't get paid. Ain't no retirement, ain't no pension. I can't really clock in and clock out. I'm black 24/7. I can't blend in anywhere. I can't go somewhere and they know that I'm not black, because as soon as they see my skin, they see that I'm black. Let's see, what other comparisons did I say with the whatever? I didn't decide this. It just is what it is. I don't have any choice in that. They can choose to do another profession if they're so fearful that they feel like they have to kill every time instead of try to wound somebody, or you know what I mean? If you really feel but if you feel like you're that scared all the time, you can choose another profession. If a black person is fearful of their life all the time, they cannot choose another race. They cannot choose to not be black. And that is where, how can you rebut someone saying a human being matters with, yeah, but that career matters? The what? What? Stop it. But let's talk some more about the blue lives and the black lives, because the blue lives swore an oath to protect and serve. That's why you became a cop. Should better be why you became a cop. If it wasn't, that's probably why we have some of the issues that we have. And so when you do that, you ultimately, the way the laws are set up in the land is the blue lives have authority over the black lives, because they can arrest them. We can't arrest the blue lives. We can file a complaint. They don't really gotta file no complaints. Sometimes they can just do stuff. You know what I mean? And if we were to kill a police officer, and I'm not condoning that at all, this is just the parallels. If we were to kill a police officer, I'm confident we would do jail time. Whoever. I need to stop saying we, because this ain't me plotting, but whoever, anybody, black, white, whatever. Let's go ahead and include everybody. There would be some jail time. Ain't no way anybody is getting away with that, to where then police brothers and sisters gotta rally. It don't work like that, because y'all the police. You know what I mean? There has to be where you can't just want us to see the humanity, of the police officers, and you don't want to see the humanity of black people. It can't be that you're so busy trying to convince us that not all cops are bad. Nobody ever said that. We just want accountability for the ones who are doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing. That's it. That's all. You can't keep trying to, I'm seeing where people talking about, this is my cousin, this is whatever. And there are police officers that I know personally, that I love, that I grew up with, whatever. So this ain't even about me bashing a profession. I know that there are people associated with those badges and whatnot. But how come we don't get that same benefit of the doubt of, why does it have to be, oh, well, let's see what happens. Let's see what happened. So let's get into George Floyd. If you didn't watch the video, I'm not going to tell you that you should, because I wasn't going to be honest. And then I did. Man, I'm so glad that his family did a second autopsy, and I'm so glad his family did that, because now it looks like they're labeling it a homicide instead of trying to say that bull about, oh, well, it's his fault that he wasn't healthy enough to withstand a man kneeing him in the neck for 9 minutes while people are begging him, the police officer, hey, get off him, hey, he's not even moving anymore, get off his neck. So we all saw that. And if you didn't see it, maybe you should watch it. How is it that I have seen comments like, why was he resisting arrest? Or, well, he shouldn't have been doing this, he shouldn't have been doing that, he shouldn't have been doing things that aren't even necessarily things that are true. Just justifications of why it was okay for that police officer to kill that man, that black man. And here's the thing. Let's say he was resisting arrest. Let's say it was all that. This man was handcuffed on the ground, and it was 4 of y'all. It was 4 of y'all. 4 of y'all trained police officers. Why did you not get off his neck and y'all try a different way? Because, me watching it, I don't see how there's any other way that could have been taken. And then it took forever. I ain't gonna say it took forever, but let me tell y'all, let's go on a side story real quick. In my city, and I normally don't even tell y'all where I'm at, but I guess it just is what it is. So I live in Nebraska, live in Omaha, Nebraska, and I'm sure you saw on, because I know it became a nationwide information where James Scurlock, which is actually a friend of mine's little brother, I used to work with his sister. So James Scurlock was killed at a protest by a man, which, if you go on my Facebook page, my podcast Facebook page, there's some articles I've posted. So James Scurlock went to a protest here in Omaha on Saturday, and so Saturday the 30th, just so May 30th or whatever. So he, from what I understand, because I may have met him, I'm not sure, but I, like I say, worked with his sister. What I understand about him is he was very much about social justice, and so it would have made sense for him to be at the protest. And he was 22, a father. That's really... I'm trying to think of what other things have said as far as just who he was. Social justice, we'll just focus on that because it makes sense that he would have been at that protest. Now, the person who killed him, his name is Jake Gardner, which, as I said, all that information is in the articles if you want to go. I'm going to start putting stuff on my Facebook page instead. That way I can share it as I see it and then direct you there instead of putting it in the episode's notes or whatever. Which the link to my Facebook page is in the episode notes. So, now this club owner, he owned I think he owns other properties, but for sure he owned the Hive and the Gatsby. So way before all this happened, right? Years ago, I remember having conversations with people, but I remember a conversation with one of my homeboys specifically telling me the experiences he's had with that club and how that club owner is racist and homophobic. I have heard that for years about this man way before all this happened, okay? And so when I heard who killed James, sadly, I was not mistaken. Now, me and my little brother were talking earlier today. So James was killed on a Saturday night, on the weekend. And by Sunday, not even a weekday, not even like business hours, by Sunday, Jake was free. And then today they had a press conference and they said they're not going to press any charges. So this, it gets better. There's a status that he posted, Jake Gardner, before he went down, which, mind you, everyone was advised, because they knew there was going to be protesting, people were advised to close up their businesses and go home. That's what people were advised to do. So why he chose to go down there, it's hard to say. It was, I went to go protect my business, because you were advised to whatever. Businesses have insurance and all that thing. And then let's throw in some more razzle dazzle just for good measure, because you need all the facts. He also is I don't know if it's a Marine or some military branch. So military trained. And you post before you go down to the Hive to your business and say, just when you think, what else could 2020 throw at me? Then you have to pull 48 hours of military style fireworks, shoulder shrug emoji, fire emoji, eyeball emoji. Nobody said you had to do that, though. They told you to stay home. Businesses have insurance. And so while, I'm not saying I don't care about people and their livelihood and all that good stuff, but I'm sorry, your business didn't mean more than that young man's life, who didn't even do anything. From what came out is that Jake was yelling racial slurs at the people and taunting them and this, that, and the other. And Jake, let me make sure I said that name right, because they're kind of similar. Jake. James, the person that Jake killed, was trying to stop him, was trying to help somebody. You know what I mean? And here's my issue. You're a trained Marine, so let's say you somewhat felt fearful. Okay, you've been trained to shoot. You could have shot him in the leg. You shot that dude in his neck. You was on that. I don't care. Ain't no self-defense. And this boy, man, I hope you go look at the articles. James was little. Ain't no way this military dude, you trying to tell me you were fearful of this little unarmed black man. He was only 22. That's why I'm saying little, because he's about half my age. Ain't no way. But here's not why I bring that up. I bring that up because I just wanted to talk about it, but it ties into this, because even though, no, he was not killed by the police, but here's the thing, is that in the, on social media and stuff, when I've seen people talk about it, reading the comments or whatever, some of the things I keep seeing is, well, as people have been going in on him, this racist, this, and this, because that's what he's, how he's treated people. And I've heard it from multiple people way before this ever happened. So it's like I said, I wasn't surprised that he was the one who did it once I heard what happened. Just because, like I said, and then I saw the status. But I've seen people talking about, well, what happened to innocent until proven guilty? Like they want to give him the benefit of the doubt and bring it back to the Black Lives Matter. That's all is just equality, like justice. We want to be seen as human beings too. We want to, like, and then here's the thing with privilege. It's not your fault that you have privilege, but let's not pretend that you don't have privilege. Like, let's be real about the privileges. Let's be real about the fact that if you're choosing to have conversations with your kids now because of, and this is to white people, if you're choosing to have conversations with your kids about the, injustice and the things that are happening in the world as a result of what's going on right now, that's a choice that you get to choose to do. You get to choose that. I don't get that choice. I have to have these conversations with my kids. I had to tell my daughters that I wasn't going to allow them to go protest because there's too many things that could happen. And when I think about weighing the cost, because this is serious, this is war, and this is how I'm looking at all of this. And, then of course, when somebody gets killed, that just further proves my point. But even prior to that, it's like, I've watched Facebook Lives and just the aggression of the police force in Omaha is just very interesting, because I don't understand why it was like that when it didn't need to be. From what I don't know, it was just weird, because I was watching, like I said, a lot of people's live videos. But, I have to have these conversations with my daughters, especially because they're still, well, my oldest daughter just graduated, but like as they've been in school, like the experiences they've had with racism and whatever, going to a predominantly white school, which a few episodes ago, I don't know, I had them on, I can't even remember what the episode was called, but it was a Thoughts to Ponder episode. It doesn't matter. But I don't get to the privilege of choosing whether or not I want to have those conversations with my kids. I just have to react and talk to them about what they go through. You know what I mean? So nobody's saying that white people don't have issues, they don't have hard lives. Like, I know not everybody's rich and all these things that it seems like people think we're saying, but what we're saying with the whole privilege thing is that, but the color of your skin is not a barrier for you. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing, and that's not your fault. You didn't choose to be white. You just were born that way. But can we just start having honest and it's hard work, so you might not be ready for that. Because people, I don't see color and all. Man, I'm sorry, but that's bull. That is some bull. Okay, let's break that down. I don't see color. This is why that's foolish, because the beauty of diversity is all the things that different cultures bring to society, be it music, be it food, be it clothes, hairstyles, be it art, literature, whatever. You gotta see color. There's differences in genres of music even. There's different hairstyles. There's different whatever, man. Food, man, listen. Make it a little lighthearted. Thanksgiving at my house, is probably different than what y'all be eating Thanksgiving at your house. And that's okay, because that's your culture and what you grew up with and all these things. And that's what I grew up with. So it's like, let's not dismiss the hard conversations and the hard work that we need to do in this country by saying stuff like, well, people are just people and I don't see color. No, that's not true. Like, the first thing I see when I see anyone is the color of their skin, sometimes before I even could tell if it's a man or a woman, depending on how far away they are or whatever. So let's stop. Like, let's have the conversations that we need to have. If there's a person of color in your life that you're like, hey, I want to learn, because that's what this is for. This is for the people that have been saying, like, I want to learn. Like, go to them. It's vulnerable, it's humbling, it's whatever, but it's necessary. It's very necessary. And then here's the thing on the flip side of that is, when people come and now they're, I don't want to say woke because whatever, but now they're realizing whatever that maybe they were blinded to. And I do believe people are enlightened to different things at different points in their life. So I'm not going to say, oh, you saw it before and now you're trying to pretend. No, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. This is applying to the people that I've seen this stuff. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and believe that you are wanting to learn now. Okay, cool. So then when a white person comes to you and they want to learn and they want to have a conversation and they want to whatever, man, you got to do that. Like, have that conversation with them, educate them. That's why I'm coming from this perspective of, I want to educate, because if someone wants to learn, man, I'm a firm believer that when you know better, you do better. And it's like, there's multiple things that need to happen right now. And so do better, y'all. And then here's the thing too. Here's what you can do. Like, here are some little things that you could do. Like, you don't gotta protest. You don't gotta give money. You don't gotta even speak out on social media as far as just saying like, oh, I see you, I hear you, or just the stuff I've seen. Here's little stuff you could do that's not even grand gestures, that's in the privacy of your inner circle, your family, or whatever, is when you hear somebody say some racist stuff, shut that shit down. And I'm not going to apologize for my language because I want y'all to feel me. I mean it just like that. Shut that shit down. Like, tell them that's not okay. Tell them why it's not okay. Because at the end of the day, like I said, or maybe I don't know if I said this, but this is a marathon. This is not, we're going to hurry up and come to change because we didn't hurry up and get here. This has been going on and it just, things change and it evolves, but at the same time, man, these are hard issues. Like, something is wrong with your heart if you don't see another human being and care about them. Like, that's a hard issue. And then it's a hard issue too with racism. You know what I mean? Like, what's wrong in your heart that you don't like somebody because of the color of their skin? What's wrong with your heart if you're supposed to protect and serve and you choose to not only abuse that power, but then the lawmakers or, county attorney or whoever, you don't get no accountability? Man, imagine somebody, it ain't even got to be a murder. Imagine you a parent and somebody just came up and smacked your child dead in your face and your child was like 10 and the person that smacked them was like 30. Wouldn't you be mad? Wouldn't you want to do something? Wouldn't you feel like if you, I don't know, call the police on them or whatever, that there should be some justice? That's all this is all about. You know what I mean? It's like, there wouldn't have been, if there would have been justice, equality, all these things, there wouldn't be all this rioting. Like, let's go to George Floyd. If he would have, like, they would have arrested the officers right away, it wouldn't have been all this. Because then it would be like, okay, but it's like, bruh, we still on this? Y'all still don't care? Y'all still saying Black Lives Don't Matter? It's like, people are tired. I know I'm tired. And it ain't even just this. It's just everything right now. It's just so much. But let's go back to something interesting. Is that not interesting, but so with James Scurlock, that's where I was going with that. Jake Gardner, the person who killed James Scurlock, killed him on a Saturday, was out walking freely by Sunday. By Monday, they said, we're not pressing any kind of charges. That took, 2 days? We won't even count Saturday because it was late Saturday night going into Sunday. So, in a day, little over 24 hours. But my little brother told me he was out walking free on Sunday, like I said. So, that took 2 days to decide, hey, we not pressing no charges. We not doing none of that. It's videos. That's the thing. There's all kinds of videos floating around that people recorded. I saw one of them. Man, I don't know how this man is out here free. You know what I mean? But when stuff like that happens, it just adds fuel to the fire of what's already been going on. And that's why I'm saying this is not a one protest and we're done. And it's not only protesting. There's multiple things that need to be happening. And little things you can do is, like I said, shut stuff down. Okay, let's say none of your family is racist or none of your friends or whatever, but maybe you, whatever. Man, stuff I've been doing lately is I just like, hi, good morning, just smiling at people, just little stuff. Because aside from all of this insane stuff that's happening globally, we all got our own battles. We all got our own stuff that nobody else knows about or nobody else is walking through. We all got our own stuff. Saturday morning, how my Saturday morning started was going to a funeral of my friend from high school's son. Her 22-year-old son, which I mentioned that before, passed away, and his funeral was Sunday. That's how my Saturday started. And then I wake up, and then of course, there's the protest, there's the Rona, there's just all these other things going on in my life. And then I wake up Sunday to all these text messages finding out that my friend's little brother was killed. That's just 2 days. Man, imagine, we ain't even talking about the rest of the year. We ain't even talking about the stuff that people are going through that ain't got nothing to do with 2020. Because it ain't like life was sweet before 2020 and then all of a sudden it got hell on earth. Man, we thought 2020 was finna be our year because we was tired of 2019, 2018, and whatever. And here we are. So the whole point is there's little things that you can do. And if you just keep sticking with the little things, no, you're not going to see instant, results. But don't look for that. This is a marathon, but things have to change. We gotta do better. We gotta do better. So I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go. Like I said, this is the series that I'm on. Understand, maybe I should have said this at the beginning. Understand that this comes from, I told y'all my heart is to educate. My heart is not to necessarily, I am a pretty, when it comes to things, I often look at things rationally more so, even though, don't get me wrong, things piss me off and I'm a very emotional person, but at the same time, I can look at things rationally. So that's the heart behind me and it may have been uncomfortable, but that's good, because you shouldn't be okay with saying that a human being's life is the same as a career choice. Like, black lives and blue lives are not in any way, shape, or form the same, because we can't choose to not be black anymore, and they can choose to not be a police officer anymore. Like, you shouldn't be comfortable with that. You shouldn't be comfortable with injustice and all this stuff. So if this is uncomfortable, now you can say, hey, she offended me. If so, I apologize. That wasn't the intent. But if it ain't that I said something disrespectful, which to my knowledge I didn't, then, hey, you got to check your own heart, and you got to do that work, because we all got our own work to do. Like, I'm constantly working on how can I be a better mom, friend, whatever, working on my own interpersonal skills. So it's like, hey, other than that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, week, whatever. I love y'all, and I don't normally ever say that on here. I usually say stuff like that on my Facebook, because I know them a little better, but I have always had a heart for people. That's why I've worked in the social work field and do youth ministry and all these things. Like, I really just love people, and I don't know what you're going through, but know that I care, know that I have love for you, know that, like, not like, oh, I love you like that. I don't even know you, but I'm just saying, as a person who you are, I care. If you do need somebody to talk to, like I say on the next little thing, those are the ways that you can get a hold of me. And yeah, man, like, stay safe, because here's the other thing. Amidst all this extra stuff with the protests and whatever, the Rona's still out there, so that ain't went away, you know what I mean? And you can have your opinions on if you think it's fake or whatever, but, like, I know people that have been personally affected by it. I don't know anyone that passed away from it, but I do know someone that had it. Nobody I was around, so I know it's real. And I know people that I trust who aren't going to lie to me, that know people who either passed away or were, like, in critical condition and then, getting better or whatever. So it's like, stay safe, man. Stay safe, stay safe, stay safe. So that's all I got for y'all, and I'll see y'all next week. So first things first, shout out to Sniper T for this beat, and all his information can be found in the episode notes. Now, like I say on social media, I want y'all to interact with me, so here's a few ways you can do that, and the links and whatnot to all these methods are in the episode notes as well. Now, you can leave me a voicemail. Call 720-457-4022. You can email me. Hey, y'all can follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, and I'll follow you back. And then you can go ahead and slide in the DMs, just not on no weird stuff. You can also like the Facebook page, and the link on there goes to my email as well. Now, what I need y'all to do is pay attention on my socials for when I ask for feedback for the Thoughts to Ponder episodes that air every other Monday, because the reality is that y'all feedback is what makes those episodes dope. So, leave me a voicemail, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or email me. Just holla at your girl.